Over the past four episodes, I have been talking about how the Western dating market broke. However, these conversations didn't come about on my own. Well, not without the conversations I had with my partner, Dean. And finally, today you get to meet him just so you will know how this channel came about. And so, Dean, come over. Hey, babe.
I think.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you. How did you get here?
How did I get to the Philippines? Well, 7 or 8 years ago, I got divorced in America. I went down the manosphere, the MGTOW, the red pill, down all those channels. And I came to realize that love wasn't what I thought love was, and that dating had definitely changed in America. And I started seeing the world in a different through a different set of eyes. And I took other people's advice by looking into the East and seeing what was out there.
Mm. So, what was it about dating in the West that made you start or that made you want to look East? That gave you the idea, oh, I better look into another horizon?
Well, I guess when I started dating after a year after my divorce, I guess it's been 7 or 8 years ago, um, I heard like a lot of times people say like, oh, women are just after money, men are just after looks, like that's like their value. And then I was on a dating app and I was getting dates. And then I decided like on this particular dating app, you could put your income in. And once I put my income in, I didn't get one like for over a month. Or if you do, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to go out with this person. And then I decided to raise my income on that dating app by 50,000, and all of a sudden I started getting like a bunch of interest, which went to prove the things that I was watching were true. And that is what sent me down the rabbit hole of thinking to myself, man, I'm not going to date in the West anymore. Like, if this really what it has become, then I don't want to participate in this. And it's just different than it was 20 years ago. Like, it's just a different market. And I just don't like the way the West is going, but also it's moving to the East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I actually agree with you. I see my culture as like really conservative. Hookup culture is still looked down upon here, but in hotspot cities, they're already it's becoming a common practice, and that's what made me sad. And I was like, well, there are many factors, of course, that affected it, but one of them are the dating apps for sure. It's so easy to meet someone and then just go to a short time hotel and have an affair with someone out of public eyes. But there's also that a lot of foreigners, Western men looking for a Filipino partner came over here. But the thing is, most of them or a lot of them are not really looking for a partner. They're just looking for
A
another
hookup.
field that they can play at where they can just like hook up, and then just do the same thing that they've done to the West, which is exactly what fueled the deteriorating society or dating market in the West. And so I was pretty alarmed about that. And I was like,
But we have all
okay.
these men complaining about women this, women that. But at the same time, they come over here and sex tourism is on a rise and it's supply and demand. And so, like, all these men that are talking bad about the women over in the West, they're coming over here and turning the women
Mhm.
into the West.
Into the West,
So,
yeah.
like, open your eyes before you come over here and just start sleeping around just because maybe you can over here. Like, don't turn this into the West.
Yeah, because for me, like the Philippine society is one of the last societies wherein partnership really still works, and I wouldn't want that to be damaged. So this is really like one of the motivations why it was easy for you to like when you pitch what the things that the Western men are struggling with, and then I can see how it connected with the damage of our culture, and it's like, oh, that's not happening. I better like put myself out there, even though both of us are introverts and we don't really like putting ourselves out there. But I think like, yeah, it is a good cause. anything that we can share to help at least some people, then yeah, that's good enough, right?
And I have a couple boys, and if I mean dating so bad in the West, like I'm watching my daughters go through this, and I have two boys, and if it's so bad in the West, and so many have stopped dating, like I have friends that have just completely given up, haven't been on a date in years,
Hmm.
but like I want to give my sons at least a chance to find someone,
Yeah.
and so like it feels like the Philippines is like the last frontier. And I mean, there's so many men that are lonely, but both people are going to be lonely, the women and the men.
Hmm.
Like women, they just go and they think, what was like 70% of divorces are caused by the women,
Initiated by them, yeah.
and they're not going to like divorce a guy and go out and try to find someone like that doesn't make as much as him. They're going to try to find someone that makes more, want like their life to be better off. And a lot of times they carry a bunch of baggage with them, and they're not going to get that guy. And so rather than settling for what the guy that they can get, they would rather just be alone. And so a lot of these
Hmm.
women just become lonely. I know, like, in one of her episodes, she mentioned women don't want to take a second shift after they get home, like they're burnt out. But like, do you know how much harder it is to get divorced and do it all on your own? Like, there's no one there. It's super hard, not just for her, like if she has the kids, but it's you're running two households. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And I feel like the West needs to understand that.
I think a lot of Western women are taking that for granted. Like they don't really see the situation wherein if it's just them, it will be so much harder than when there is a man who can balance her out, right? And also, again, social media, and they see everybody posting their highlight reels, and they think, oh, all of my friends are getting it way better than I am. I'm bored with my marriage. I'm just going to leave my husband. I also don't like the idea in the West where they can just get divorced with what's that? No fault divorce.
No fault.
I think that's really destroying Western societies more than it is helping Western societies. That's just my opinion. It should be legal, but there should be like certain like requirements as to when that could happen. That's just my thoughts. But because when it's no fault divorce, it's when a man will just can easily lose everything that he has, right? And the woman has everything to gain, especially if he's built something already, and then she would just come in and take half of it, or at least that plus the kids. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been very encouraging to Joe to start this channel, um, just to help other people see like what's going on in the world. And Joe's very big on like no blame, like don't blame the women, don't blame the
The
men.
men.
It's but at the same
It's hard.
time, it's hard not to place blame.
Yeah.
But we've given the system, like it's just a system. It's not women's fault. It's not men's fault. It's just the system that we've fallen into. And what I'm really looking forward to in the future is community, like meeting people, sharing what we're sharing, and being able to, like in the past, like there was a lot. I grew up religiously, and that's like where you went for your community. And I'm not religious anymore. But like to have a tribe or a community of like-minded men, I'm excited for and looking forward to in the future through
Hmm.
this channel.
Yeah. That's our vision, actually, babe. And that's where the name of the channel came from. Oh, I think we need to back up a little bit. Like you started with, so when you started looking east, that's when you had this Philippine dream, sort of, right? I mean, we didn't really name it Philippine dream, but you have your eyesight and vision set for the Philippines that you still have to work your way up, like recover from your financial losses, from losing your kids, and you started thinking, if I'm going to build something again, it won't be here, but it will be in the Philippines. And that's when you share that vision to me, like, oh, you want to build something here and build that community around. And I immediately resonated with it because I also want to settle down here in the Philippines. I know we have so much problems here, but it's still my preferred country to settle down in. And the thing is, like, Dean's boys, the two younger ones, are we still have years ahead before they turn 18. And so we both agree that this will be the time when I will join him in America for a few years. We continue building there, preparing for our life here. And so there's a lot to prepare, not just financially, but also mentally.
4 or 5 years ago, I told my kids that one day I was going to go to the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
and get married and move. So when they got older, don't think that I'm crazy. I gave them years advance notice that I was intending on coming to the Philippines. And then maybe a year after that, I started looking on, was it OK Cupid?
Yeah, it was. Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
sure. It was okay
yeah,
Cupid for me and
OK
Filipina
Cupid, yeah.
Cupid.
And I spent like a year going through profiles and I watched like all these channels. I watched so many videos of like guys falling for women on like the first couple days they start meeting people.
They fall
And,
for the women right away?
yeah, like it's
Crazy.
men are men, like men are
Mm.
men. And so it took me about a year before I found her. And I didn't talk to a woman more than a week in a year. So it was like a couple conversations, but I was looking for an older woman that didn't have kids. And that
Yeah.
is very
That's
hard
very
to
rare.
find in the Philippines. And people think like, well, he has kids. Like, isn't that messed up?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I don't want my kids or my kids to think I'm starting a new family. So
Yeah.
it took me a while to find Joe, but the wait was worth it. So
Thanks, babe. It was the same for me. Well, you mentioned earlier that, or in our other conversations, that you almost went your own way, right? You were close to going MGTOW because you think you couldn't find anyone that you can be with. So, what made you hold on to some hope that, maybe there's someone out there?
well, just the whole community I was watching, people here in the Philippines,
Mm.
that's what gave me hope.
Like good
Like,
relationships, right?
yeah,
Like there are bad and there are good, but the good are
yeah.
worth
But it just
holding
seems
on
like
to.
the women are more,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say it. I don't want to like talk bad on women, but
Yeah. More
less
grounded.
complicated.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things I liked about Joe when I first met her was she already went down the rabbit hole of the red pill, the MGTOW. She understood it. And like when I talked to her about those things, she said like, "Yeah, I'm hypergamous too." Like she fully owns
Yeah,
what
it's
it's like
true.
to be a woman. And I was asking her if she'd ever heard of the McDonald's test, and that was if a man saw a beautiful woman at McDonald's working, he would date her. But if a
Yeah.
woman saw a de- a, a very good-looking guy working at McDonald's, the odds that she would ever go on a date with him is like non-existent. And so if you can like say that to a person, like
Mm-hmm.
most women can like actually understand that, even if they don't want to take like they get offended by what you say. If you tell them the McDonald's test, they kind of understand. And we'd also like to encourage like young men in their 30s and 40s. I know a lot of you guys watch these videos because I was watching these for years. You know, you think like you can't go live your Philippine dream until you're 65. But I just want to let you know, give you some encouragement that you can get out of debt and you can retire a lot sooner than you think. Obviously, you know it costs a lot less to live here, but we will be giving some tools in the future to help get out of debt. I've been down that journey a few times. Once when I was younger, I had to get out of $40,000 of debt. And then after I got divorced, I got destroyed too, like the average guy, and clawed my way out again. So like I just want to give you guys hope that you can keep going and end up creating a life that you want. Or obviously you're watching these videos for a reason.
And in the background, you said earlier it will not be the main focus in the channel, but that's where we will build our community around, right? Supporting people who went through the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, we're not going to focus on getting out of debt, but that is definitely going to be a big part of the channel. In the
Mm-hmm.
background, those that
Yeah.
want to get out of debt will have a side thing for you guys to create a plan of how to get out of debt
Mm-hmm.
and to eventually it'll give you like a time frame, an actual plan. Like, oh, I can get out of debt in 2 years and 5 months on this date if I follow this plan, and we'll give you those plans. Um, I just want to encourage you guys that you're not stuck. You don't have to feel hopeless in the West.
Mm-hmm. So that's the why of this channel. Just so you know, it doesn't come from chasing a trend. It really comes from both sides. It so happens that our ideas intersect and we both see things the same way. And that's why we wanted to share our thoughts, just so we could help other people out there too who are in the same journey.
And Joe has created 3 seasons, I guess, up to now.
I've already mapped out
Well,
3.
she's mapped out 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So
But
she
I've
has a
only just
ton of work
done
ahead of
4.
her
Yeah.
because she's only, she's doing about 14 episodes per season. So she has a lot that she's put together.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah,
Hope you guys are too.
and Dean has a lot of input in all of these episodes.
But you will not be seeing me very much on these episodes.
Not very much. He's very shy.
Yeah,
So
take care.
take care. Bye. Wait, you were gonna tell me something about what you like about me? Come on.
Oh, do I have to tell you everything I love about you?
Oh, I don't know. You said something, baby. I'm really reaching your shoulder.
I'm trying to put my arm out as far as
Okay,
I can.
that's fine. Go. So what were you saying? It's so ridiculous. We're new at this, babe. It's
For
like,
sure.